Hello, viewers. It's time for makgeolli Talk. Every week on this channel, there's a new makgeolli video. So if you like this video, please click that like button and subscribe. Today is more than makgeolli. I want to talk about rice wines of the world. Now that's a huge topic. There are a lot of rice wine brewing traditions out there. I just want to start the discussion. I want to learn something from these other brewing traditions, and of course, I want to compare it with brewing makgeolli. So let's think about how I'm going to start. Out of all the different countries, where do I start? So I'm going to let you, the viewer, choose that. So I just looked at my viewing statistics right here. So that's how I'm going to choose, looking at the top three in this table after South Korea. And these are number 1, Singapore, number 2, Malaysia, and number 3, Indonesia. So those are the three I'm going to talk about today, and there are going to be multiple parts to this series. I'll talk about the other countries later. So of course, with rice wine, what do we have to consider? The rice that you're using, the enzyme, what's the source of your enzyme to convert the starch to sugar, and the source of your yeast. And of course, the recipe and other factors that go into the end product. So those are things I want to consider. This is just a start. It's going to be very superficial. I'm just going to pick one recipe from each country to represent that country's rice wine. It's not going to cover everything, and it's not like a complete analysis or comparison or anything. Just want to get things going. So let's start with Singapore. I saw this recipe for Ang Chow red rice wine, and that sounded interesting. I tried to brew myself with red yeast rice before, so that's one interesting characteristic of this brew. It is brewed with red yeast rice and yeast balls, the Chinese style yeast balls made with rice flour. So that's the source of the enzyme for this brew. And it uses sweet rice and no additional water other than the water used to cook the rice. So it's quite a long brewing process, and it can result in, of course, a very dark colored wine because of the red yeast rice. Number 2, Malaysia. Well, I saw this recipe for a brew called tuak, which is, again, it's not cloudy, and the source of the enzyme is from something called ragi, which is made from rice flour, ginger, and other spices. So that's the analog to naruk, is this substance called ragi, and it grows mold. It's in banana leaves. It sounds like a comparable process. So that's used as the starter for the brew. And the recipe I read actually has a second stage to continue the brew with the addition of more water and sugar. It sounds like a way to get more of an output from a limited amount of rice. So that's some tuak from Malaysia. And number 3 today, Indonesia. There's a brew called brum, and that is the starter. The enzyme is also ragi. Of course, there are many different forms of it. Doesn't have to be the same. And it can be made with black sweet rice. So that's the difference. So it can have a dark or purple color. And the recipe I read seemed to be a very quick brew, only 3 days long. And maybe that's a function of the temperature. All right, so those are the first 3 countries I want to start talking about. If you've ever had rice wine from these countries, let me know in the comments. What was it like? And of course, if you know anything about the recipes involved, share with your fellow brewers. And wherever you find rice wine around the world, enjoy it. Thank you for watching.